Ladies and gentlemen, the 80A MP-2. That is on the fat high gain mode there, and I want to do this video just to show you some tones. I got this recently and it's actually not working 100%. I've been in touch with the one and only Marshall JMP mod shop. He makes the 88 3-tube mod, a bunch of other things, and he's been so awesome and so generous with his time advising me how to get this unit up and running 100%. I just haven't got around to doing it, and it's kind of like, I reckon maybe working at 70% capacity at the moment. What I mean by that is not that like the sound is at 70% quality. When it works beautifully. There's just a couple of little functions and things like that which aren't working perfectly in there. So I'm going to get onto that, and I will do the ultimate 88 MP2 YouTube demo by Leon at some point. But I've been getting so many questions about this and people asking to hear it that I'm just going to shamelessly plug it in and run you through some of the modes. So that is fat high gain. Let's go down to voice 9. There's 10 voices on this. So the original MP1 had 3 voices. This has 10. This is the ultimate. This thing has so much gain. It's kind of like you ran a boogie into a boogie or something like that. Voice 8 is called dynamic high gain. This has slightly less an insane amount of high gain, still insane high gain. Let's hear warm high gain. I'll go over some of the specs and features in a second. Kind of like that one. Then we've got these vintage modes. This is dynamic vintage. You can hear there's something up with that mode at the moment. This is warm vintage. And probably my favorite mode on here, the brown. Alrighty, so what is going on with this particular preamp? You can see not only do we have a front panel level control, we have this room EQ control. Let's have a listen to what the room EQ does. There's normal mode and bright, but I like it on the full mode. You'll hear. Yeah, just kind of the full mode, I think, is more in line with what I like out of a kind of rack preamp into a power amp. I'm using the Synergy Syn 5050 here at the moment as well, and yeah, basically sometimes the tone controls work, sometimes the graphic EQ works on the MP-2, other times it doesn't, but I've found that running it into the Synergy, I can just use the presence and depth controls to make up for that. Now, the original MP-1, people were putting in their rack back in the day, and they were adding things like, you know, an external effects unit, and an external noise reduction unit, and an external graphic EQ. Well, this has a graphic EQ. This has a wah built in. It's got a trem, it's got a stereo effects loop, it's got stereo chorus, and it's even got built-in noise reduction and a built-in compressor that you can put on any mode. For example, let's go over to the, what was it, the fat high gain mode. If I start with the compressor out, that's actually pretty pleasant. I like it kicked in on a lot of modes right there. It's almost like you can set it up so that you could have your core tone and then put the compressor on top of it if you wanted to play leads and just get a little bit of extra smoothing and a little bit of extra gain out of it. Like I said, the tone controls and the graphic EQ, it's a bit hit and miss. Sometimes when I've got this on, they work. Other times they don't. So there's something going on there. But I do want to show off the wah in here because you can set it up as an auto wah, which sounds pretty good. You can obviously connect an external pedal and roll with that. But I'm quite surprised by how good the auto wah sounds in this. So that's the wah. I'm going to stay on this fat high gain mode with ultimate filth. Let's kick the chorus in. So that's the totally over-the-top high gain stuff. There are shades in between there, but I figured I would just push it to the limit. Let's go back to the vintage brown mode for now, just so I can kind of show off more of a just like lower gain JCM 800-ish kind of crunch, I guess. This is where having the depth and presence on the Synergy is handy because I can bring the presence down and bring the depth up a little bit, give it some thickness. Let's go back to the vintage brown mode. I think for me, it's like that fat high gain vintage brown. And then we will hear one of the clean modes at the end and I'll demonstrate the trem. But just for something a little less insanely high gain, here's something crunchy. I kind of like that mode as well. So for me, the vintage brown with just a little bit of crunch is really nice. The fat high gain with literally all the gain is what I would want out of a lead sound. Maybe kick the compressor in on top of it for super duper over the top lead stuff. Let's quickly show off the clean modes. There are 3 clean modes. They all sound pretty similar on this particular unit that I've got, so I'll just roll with the Crystal Clean. The Crystal Clean is really, really clean, pretty neutral sounding on the neck pickup of this guitar. All right, let's hear the trem. I'm going to kick this in. There's 3 different wave shapes, sine, triangle, and what they call surf. So let's just hear, I think, sine. So here's that surf trem. I've kicked the compressor in, and you can actually use the gain control on the compressor to add more gain to your patch. This is still the Crystal Clean. It's just starting to get a little bit kind of bitey, which I like. Not exactly what I would expect out of like an early 90s rack processor, primarily marketed towards rock and metal guitar players. I'm just trying to think if there's any other kind of features I've missed or skipped on this particular unit. I feel like there's a lot. Like, I haven't done any tweaking of the tone controls. I pre-dialed all of that because I really don't want to be kind of I can't really see the screen from here. I have to lean all the way over and then have a look at it from there. So maybe not the best position to do this video from, but I've just kind of like set and forget on a few presets, and I've been using the presence and the depth and that room EQ. We did the stereo chorus. You know, if there was an ADA style delay in here, because ADA used to make a bunch of rack delays, that would have been really cool. I reckon I could probably get into an ADA delay because I really like the chorus in here. And that trem is pretty decent. Same thing with the compressor. It's a real shame that it's just kind of not working 100%. But let's hear one more super filthy preset. All right, let's go back to the PRS. I'm back on that fat high gain mode, voice 10, and we get Okay, now I want to show you one of the things which isn't working with this. If I go and try to say bring the drive control down, hear that? If I turn the noise gate off, I'm pretty sure I do have a fix sorted out for me with that, and it's a real shame because I would like to be able to tweak the gain controls, obviously on these high gain modes. That's, again, why this is not the ultimate guide to the ADA MP2. This thing needs to be fixed. But, you know what? When it does work, it's a whole bunch of fun. I guess it was bound to happen anyway that I got a unit eventually that wasn't 100% functioning, or that maybe just needed some modifications or maintenance. And I mean, there was still some tones that I really liked out of this, especially on some of the mid-gain modes. It's definitely a unit with a lot of potential, and I am going to see to it that this gets serviced and gets up and running. So a big shout out again to Philippe, Marshall JMP Mod Shop. If you've got an 80A MP1 that you want to do a 3-tube mod or another mod on, get in touch with him. I'll link his website in the video description. His products are top shelf, and he is an amazing resource for 80A knowledge. Also, if you want to learn more about the 80A stuff, head over to the 80A Depot. There are so many legends over on that forum. I honestly cannot think of a nicer place on the internet than the old 80A Depot. So go and check that out. And yeah, there's going to be some more videos very soon when I do get the time to service this thing. Maybe we can do like a service guide or something like that for your MP-2. And yeah, hopefully get this thing up and running to its full potential. And when I do that, I will do the ultimate 80A MP-2 video, and I will compare it to my MP1 and my 3-tube modded MP1. And I'm thinking about modding my other 80A MP1 and doing some other mod. So if there's a particular mod you'd like to hear, let me know in the video description. Now I just need to find an 80A MP1 classic, and I will have collected all of the Dragon Balls. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you all next time.